This is no ordinary township in India. This is a township built not by wealthy builders but by farmers, 123 of them who came together in 1999 by combining their land holdings and then creating a holistic 430-acre township in the city of Pune. Welcome to Magarpatta City. I met up with the man who spearheaded the transformation of this once rural land into a planned urban center, Satish Magar. So Mr. Magar, let's start with a simple question. Why did you build a township?
See, these were agricultural lands in the urban area. So something had to be done with it. The options with us were either to sell them off or to allow unauthorized growth which happens in all the suburban areas of all the cities. So we thought, let's do something different. So this idea just struck that why don't we do a self-contained township which will provide all the facilities, the concept of walk to work, concept of walk to school, walk for health, walk for entertainment. And then it was ideally planned on that basis and then gradually started building upon it.
One of the key themes of townships in general in India has been that most of the land is acquired. You have done something different, land pooling from farmers. What was the initial reaction of farmers when you told them, let's pool the land because we don't want to buy it, but we'll pool the land together and create something?
See, geographically our locations were such that most of the farmers, because I belong from this area, so I knew everything at the back of my hand. And the location, the situation was such that we had perpendicular plots to the road, 20 feet, 25 feet in the width and 1000 feet, 500 feet, 700 feet in length. So independently it was not possible for anyone to do anything. So how do you come out of this? We can come out of this either by acquiring or either by pooling. Now acquisition means you need a lot of money. Ours was a farmer's company, so we didn't have that money. So then we decided that why don't we work on this concept of pooling the land together, consider this land as a part of our raw material and do a fine product and value add. So basically the whole concept started on that. And then the idea of pooling the land together where they are also shareholders in the company in proportion to their land holdings, and all that just felt in that jigsaw puzzle could be set properly, and accordingly we worked. But the whole idea was to bring everyone together, work on an inclusive growth model strategy. And we have lived here for generations together, so we didn't want to deprive anyone of any benefit which would ultimately come of developing this township. So that's why the land pooling model came in.
Were there any key concerns that farmers had when you went and proposed this idea to them? What did some of the farmers who had concerns tell you?
No, their apprehension was that whether we have the experience of doing it, what will happen, these are our ancestral lands, this is the only asset we have. If anything goes wrong, then what would happen? Are we going to create an asset for us? So these apprehensions were there. So that time we told them that we will start from small area, we will see how we succeed, and we will create an asset here which will be our own asset, the asset of the company. That's why the IT park we created on the lease model which the company rated.
It helped that the Magar family had an illustrious and credible legacy that the farmer community deeply trusted.
भरोसा ऐसा था कि उनके फैमिली में से, जैसे उनके अंकल थे पहले अन्ना साहब मगर करके, मतलब सरकार क्षेत्र में बड़े पोस्ट पे थे और लोग उनको मानते थे, वैसा ही नेचर उनके सतीश मगर जी का था.
The process for this township pretty much it got its first fillip till in 1994, but the launch happened in 1999. In those 5 or 6 years, how did you manage to keep farmers involved without getting them too anxious, because that's a risk that many would have faced?
See, we had just signed an MOU amongst ourselves that this is what we intend doing and this is how we want to go forward ahead in this. So the agriculture was going on, but this 5 years it took for us to get the permissions from the government, because there were no rules set for such large township, and we not having that background of developing such large areas was a little bit of deterrent in minds of many. But we kept people together when we kept on meeting everyone. We used to gather together every Sunday morning, just discuss, dream what is going to be the future. So I think the dream basically kept people together. So we Indians are dreamers, we like to dream about the future. So that future dreams kept us all together.
And in terms of financing for this township, this is a large 430-acre township where you had expansive plans. When you went to most lenders, What was the reaction that they gave you?
They didn't believe it. Many people didn't meet us also. Because 430 acres development in Pune in 98, 99, not heard of. Farmers company doing development on their own with no big experience behind, not heard of. So everyone showed us the door.
There's a famous story of you asking for 100 crores from HDFC and Deepak Parekh giving you 2 crores only. Do you think he was a bit harsh on you with that 2 crores?
So when we went to him and presented the whole case to him, he said that how will you service the interest? Suppose I give you 100 crores, how will you service the interest? You have to first sell. So you start small and grow big, and we are always there, we'll always there be with you. And that is how we started with 2 crores, and now we have an open-ended limit. Whenever we want money, we can just go to them and get it. But that helped us, that made us sell very hardly. We were very hard sellers. Our people worked very hard. HDFC gave us the opportunity of working from all their offices in India, in Middle East, where we could go and pitch our properties for people to buy. So that gave us a lot of comfort. We got infrastructure, they got business, and we grew together.
Since then, the journey after getting capital was of construction. You had residential, you had commercial. The challenge in townships often is how do you get, it's a egg and chicken situation. How did you handle getting your first client in the commercial side, and on the residential side, how did you manage to get buyers for it?
We started the residential segment first. We have a neighborhood called Daffodils, which is about 444 flats. So we started that with one building. It's very interesting. One developer, because I was part of the whole community, he once asked me, how many buildings you are doing? I said 258. How many have you started? I said 1. So you start 1 every year, so it will take 258 years. I came back from that meeting and started with 8 buildings. I said, let's do it. And then we went to people, we called people. Those days were not where you could call people. We called people from the defense sector. We went and did presentations there, because the Southern Command is just around the corner here. And we showed people that this is what we are going to create. We made a model. This is what we intend doing. Our intentions are very noble. So come and be a part of it. So gradually we started getting people coming in. But looking at the number of units we were supposed to construct, about 8,000, 9,000 in that point of time, unless and until commercial came in, it was not going to be possible. So with the help of HDFC, we started doing our first building. We just did 1 or 2 floors, couple of floors on that, and then with the help of all the multinational property consultants, we started calling clients. But the IT clients needed to see the building. They needed to see whether you could get people together. With this garden which we are shooting now, we started developing this also, because this didn't require much money. But yet that whole ambience could be created. And then we had customers. So we had one customer who came in, and then they said that they wanted 1 floor, they went to 2 floors, and gradually they took the whole building. And that is how it started.
How much have rates changed from then to today? When you started residential and commercial both, how have they changed?
Residential must have gone tenfold in the first unit we delivered in 2002. Till now it's resale, because we are not constructing anything, so everything is resale, so it has gone about tenfold. Commercial, first deal we did it at say 14 or 15 rupees a square feet. Now it's gone to 85 rupees a square feet.
So you started the first residential one, if I'm not wrong, at 1,000 rupees per square feet.
Yeah. So now the resale value is anything between 9,500 to 10,000.
And those farmers who gave you the land then for pooling, there was a phase where you trained them in between. Right now when they look back, or right now just when you look back at their livelihoods, in monetary terms, how much better do you think it has changed?
They have changed totally, not only monetarily, socially and educational also. Because they have become a part of a cosmopolitan community. They have made money which they know how to invest. When we did a lot of backward integration on what we require and how to get the farmers involved. So where we needed a lot of material, a lot of construction work. 80% of Magarpatta is built by the second generation farmers. All these gardens, everything maintenance is still done by the farmers. So we created entrepreneurs out of that. So they knew the value of money. The whole idea was that you don't use your money, which is your land, you use it in converting to asset. You earn your living. You go abroad, you use good phones, you use good cars, but you earn that money by being an entrepreneur. And that is what happened. And for that we tied up with banks. So banks would fund them, because land money is not to be returned to anybody. It is your money. But if you borrowed money from the bank, you have to return it to the bank. Where the company was giving an undertaking saying that don't worry, all their business will route through you. And this is how entrepreneurs were created, who knew, then gradually learned the whole idea of how to manage their finances, how to survive, how to do different businesses, and that is how they grew up. So there was huge impact, like I said, on their monetary gains. The second impact was on their social living, because right from an agrarian community they became part of a urban development which was more cosmopolitan, more tech oriented. And because we had the educational facilities inside, the children went to schools here. Many of their children went abroad for education. So, you know, it was a total transformation which happened in all these three angles.
With this transformation, how exactly did the farmer families who gave their land to the company gain? In three ways. The first, 30% of the proceeds from sales of all homes were distributed to the landowners in proportion to their holding. Secondly, returns from the commercial IT park were shared among the farmers. The biggest source, however, was on account of farmers becoming contractors and vendors to the township after a phase of training to them. One farmer who owned an acre of land handled all the earth moving requirements within the township.
मेरा 99 से चालू है, 90 तक बहुत बड़ा ज़्यादा बिजनेस था, 5 करोड़ रुपए पर ईयर था. अभी थोड़ा कम है, 2 साल 2.5 साल हो गए, काम थोड़ा कम है.
The smallest farmer, who owned a mere 1/8 of an acre, became the sole entrepreneur responsible for all the door installation within Magarpatta City.
मगरपट्टा की वजह से मेरा बड़ा लड़का को अच्छा पढ़ाई किया, कोई LLB किया और दूसरा लड़के को MBA किया, और वो दोनों लड़के अभी मेरे साथ काम कर रहे हैं. हमारा रेडीमिक्स कंक्रीट का प्लांट है RMC का, और मेरे पास अभी 3 गाड़ी, इनोवा गाड़ी है, होंडा का गाड़ी है, वोक्सवैगन का पोलो गाड़ी है, और दोनों लड़की का अच्छा घर में शादी हुआ है, अच्छा बहू मिला है. और मेरे इसके अलावा मेरे 7-8 मेरा फ्लैट है मगरपट्टा में, और मेरा खुद का फ्लैट भी बहुत अच्छा है. सब बहुत अच्छा हो गया है मेरा. इतना मैं मगरपट्टा नहीं होता था तो मुझे किर्लोस्कर में अभी क्या महीना 20, 25, 30 लाख रुपए, 30,000 रुपये महीना पगार मिलता था. लेकिन अभी मुझे बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है, बहुत हैप्पी है, मैंने बहुत हैप्पी है.
So when this township was built, because the original landowners were farmers, have they managed to integrate well into the entire ecosystem?
They are part of the system. I mean, when they shifted to stay inside, they were staying in mixed community. Because until they be a part of the mixed community, they don't know, they would not grow in life. Because a middle class family which stays here, knowledge is equity for them. So that could inculcate the whole system of getting proper education for their children, and also how you live, how you interact with people. So they were part of the community. They gelled very well with them.